So again, I'm going to record what I'm doing on the screen up here. At the end of the hour, I will go through and publish what I did on YouTube. And so at any given point, you can go through and review it. So we're going to look at chapter 1-1, work together and on your own. So if you open that up, this is going to be very similar to how all of our work together and on our own are done. You will see we have one page for work together. You have one page for on your own. Each one of those are 3 points. Now, is this assignment graded or is it practice? It is set up as practice, which means at the end, we're going to go through and click on check answer, and it's going to show you if you did it correctly or not. That's the whole point of the ones that I go through and teach with you on, is for you to be able to try it before you actually get evaluated on it. So you will see on the very bottom it says try again as an option to be able to do that. You do have these icons right here that show you in progress or attempted, but I do want to tell you, once you open up a page and you've looked at it, it's always going to mark it as in progress, even if you didn't fill any text in on that. In order to use Applia, you had to verify your email address, and you will find that Applia will be sending you emails to let you know about assignments that are coming due and what you need to do on that. So just be aware, in your Gmail, you're going to be getting Applia emails. So let's go ahead and open up Work Together 1-1. I just want to go over a couple things on how we work on these assignments. On the very top, you'll see it says attempts. It'll show you how many times that you've made an attempt on this assignment. You have your different font sizes here as well. If you wanted to make it bigger, you can certainly click on the bigger font. And this would be the area where you would go to print if you needed to argue back points, but you shouldn't have to on this one because this one is a practice one. Again, you can tell it's practice because right here you have that option to check answer. Now, clicking on check answer right away doesn't do you any good. You need to try it and then click on check answer to see if what you did was correct. Now, our instructions are in the book on page 9, but they're also linked on the very top there where it says click here to view instructions in a separate window. So you can always have the instructions that will pop up just like this for you to be able to use. So again, it matches what's on page 9. It says write the answers to the following problems below. Your instructor will guide you through the following example. For each line, fill in the missing amount to complete the accounting equation. So pretty much this information is truly what goes here. So you will notice looking at Applia that there's a blank spot in each one of these areas, and we have to go through and fill in to make sure no matter what our accounting equation equals. So if I take a look at this first line, what's the answer? 11,000. How come you're not in? You have to set your password? Ask it to resend it to you? Okay, so then what is the answer going to be for the second one? 4,000. This isn't very hard math, right? And then we take a look at 63 minus 35, so we're going to have 28,000. So no matter what, we just have to make sure that our accounting equation always is in balance. So you would click on check answer, and this is going to be where you would go through on check answer. If you see a green check mark, that means thumbs up, you did an awesome job. If you had done something incorrect, there would be a red X next to it. You can then click right here where it says open, and then it would show you what the correct answer is. So that way you're not wondering, well, why is it wrong or what should it be? You could go ahead and click there. Now, this is not a hard assignment. I get that. So this would be what I would teach with you. I would go through and do 1-1, and then I would say, okay, go ahead and you do the on your own. One of the things I want to point out is I'm not going to fill anything in on my on your own. I'm just going to click on save and continue. And that again is going to be that second page, the on your own. That's when I go through here and look at this assignment. You will notice that the first one is marked as attempted, and it has a blue check mark in there because I went through and attempted, and then I just go through and say check answer, and it showed me that. The second one I just had open. I didn't fill anything in, and I clicked on save and continue, and it didn't give me a score. Now, on these practice assignments, when they're set up as practice, I am not entering in the grade into PowerSchool. This truly is your chance to go through and learn to make sure that you're doing it right before you're being evaluated on something. Okay? So the work together and on your own are always going to be ones that we will do just like that. I will do the work together, and then I'll say, okay, go ahead and complete the on your own. Sometimes I'll say, don't worry about the on your own today because we have some other things we need to do, so just be aware of where we're at. What do we think? Was that assignment too difficult? Oh my goodness. This is stressing me out today. Okay, so the next thing that I want to show you is going to be in classroom. I just gave you an assignment called Chapter 1 Outline. Don't leave Applia. You can just stay right where you're at. So for each chapter, what I'm asking you to do is to go through and read the chapter. I already asked you to read 1-1. Okay? So for tomorrow, I'm going to ask you to have read 1-2 because that's the next section that we're going to do together in class. Even though we have shortened class period tomorrow, it should work pretty well because it's not a very long section. So the outline is always going to be due on the day that we have a test. And I will never accept it late. If you don't have it turned in on the day that we take the test, you will get a 0 on it. Okay? It doesn't do you any good to do the outline after you take the test. So what I have done is for each chapter, I have set up for you a skeleton of what the chapter is organized as. And so you can see in the very top right here, it says 1-1, the accounting equation. And then there's this heading that says, what is accounting? And if you look on page 6 in your book, you will see on page 6, there is a paragraph that says, what is accounting? Now, this is how you're going to do your outline. For each heading, which matches the heading in your book, you need to come up with 3 facts or 3 points that you got out of there. There's no right facts, there's no wrong facts, but the point is, when you're going through and learning items, just reading the book is okay, but it's really good to be able to read and or annotate or take notes on what you're doing, because then you're going to remember it more for the test. I am not going to go through and read the textbook to you. You don't want me to read the textbook to you. I will be going through and explaining and covering a lot of things for the work together and on your own, but you are still responsible for reading the book. This will help you to pull out those additional facts. So what you need to do is you need to go through and come up with 3 points from the paragraph, what is accounting, and write them on there. As long as you put something thoughtful on there, it'll be fine. There's not a right or wrong. And then below here, you will notice that I have these words that are in red. Do you see those words in red in your book? Those are your vocabulary terms. So you would then need to define your accounting vocabulary. For chapter 1, I have put the vocab words on here in the correct spot, but on the later chapters, I don't do that. So you would see that these are terms that are introduced into what is accounting. Then you're going to see the business, techno consulting. You're going to put in 3 facts here. I did not put the vocabulary terms of service business or proprietorship there. You would need to go through and put them there below. Defining your terms does not count as one of your points that you would get from the paragraph. Then you can see that the second section, or the third section, is the accounting equation, which again is explained to you on page 8. And there are some vocabulary terms that you should put down below. So you will find that the vocabulary terms, you're supposed to put the term in a different color and then the definition in black, just to make your vocab stand out. So this is your section 1-1, and then you'll see right here I have 1-2 already laid out for you with some typos. That's not very good. So I have the headings in there for you. And you would need to go through for there. So again, the main point is, before you take the test, you need to have your outline done. Does that make sense? So you are going to have some work time now. I'm going to turn on for you your first application assignment in Applia. It is not there yet. It'll be up in just a moment. You will see application assignment 1-1 is due tomorrow at 8 a.m., which means you can't say, oh, I'll go into Mrs. Grasslow's room and work on it at the beginning of the hour. That won't work. Could you come in here before school to work on it? Sure, that is not a problem. But at 8 o'clock, it's going to be graded. And when you look at this application problem, this is a graded assignment, just like the sample that we did yesterday about learning about Applia. But you can see that this assignment is worth 18 points. And when you click on it, basically, it's an accounting equation. We're going to go through and plug in the missing numbers. It's very similar to the work together and on your own. No matter what happens in accounting land, we need to make sure that our accounting equation is still in balance. You will see that is listed here. On the very bottom, you have a save and continue, which you know is graded because it shows you graded there. And then your instruction does pop up here. I do want to point out that the instructions for this is also in your book, and it is in your book on page 19. All application assignments come at the very end of the chapter, and they'll be highlighted in more of your tan or teal tan pages or khaki color. Your work together and on your own will always be at the end of a section that we have introduced. So for today, what you need to do with the rest of the hour is you need to complete application problem 1-1, which is due tomorrow at 8 a.m. You also can then work on your outline for 1-1 because you should have already read it. And then you can start reading 1-2. I don't care while you're reading 1-2 if you work on the outline at the same time. I think that sounds like a good use of time. Questions? Go ahead.